right, regulation, regulation, regulation. You've been hearing about it all morning. So my name is Gabrielle Inzerlo, and I am a financial regulator. However, I do believe the editorial team decided to expand my horizons and gave me the least regulation-focused panel they could. So I'm here today with Henry and Thomas to talk about the art of making beautiful products through UX. Henry, Thomas, hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Now, first of all, I would like to apologize on behalf of Noor, who was meant to be part of our panel. Unfortunately, we are a little bit over schedule and over timing, and as you know, everybody has very packed schedules for the next few days, so she couldn't make it with us today. However, it does mean that I have more time with Henry and Thomas to be speaking about UX. So, to kick it off, I do want to, just introduce you guys to these gentlemen. So, Henry Ward. Henry, you are the CEO and co-founder of Carta. The company is trusted by more than 40,000, is that correct? 40,000 companies and over 7,000 funds and SPVs, as well as over 2 billion equity holders that trust you to manage cap tables, compensations, valuations, liquidity, and more. So your job is to make fund administration sexy,
That's
correct?
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Thomas, you are the CEO of Polestar, the performance luxury electric vehicle company based in Gothenburg, Sweden. Now, you've been the CEO of Polestar since the brand's launch, and you've taken the company public through a listing on NASDAQ in New York in 2022. And your job is to make cars sexy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
My job is to make nothing sexy, but I'm very happy to be here to speak about UX. All right, let's kick it off. So, I'm going to start my question to Thomas, who's going to tell us a little bit more about vehicle design. Now, new entrants, whether they're startups, whether they're scale-ups, across a variety of industries, they always face this challenge of standing out in a crowded market. Now, are cars a crowded market?
It definitely is a crowded market by now. Yes.
Okay, so very
no
much.
surprise in that. And it wasn't a surprise in the beginning. I have been asked that a lot. When Polestar was presented in 2017 as a new car brand, and of course being a pure electric car brand, it was very clear that being electric would not be a standout individual feature. Still today, what sticks out is that we are actually the only European-based pure EV brand. Fine, that surprisingly is still a fact. But of course, there are many, many competitors in the rest of the world.
So how exactly do you approach designing a car, that has to stand out internationally? I mean, having the word European and EV on it won't quite cut it, will it?
Yeah, I mean, interesting probably for everybody to understand that the process of creating such a highly designed object as a car still is a very human, individual-based process. So with each and every of our designs, there's actually one designer that you can pinpoint has been the creator of the original idea. Despite all the digital tools, all the people involved, all the hundreds and thousands of people helping to develop that idea into a mass-produced product, there's that one person with that creative idea that basically is the interaction between you drawing something and your brain making sense out of it.
So it's not going to be outsourced to AI anytime soon?
It can help you to create variations, but the decisive process of what you put to customers' face, I think there's still this creative spark. Having said that, never say no.
Okay, I like that. Henry, so you manage cap tables, ownership, I'm just, mumbling over my words, ownership stakes, and other venture-focused financial information. So lots of tables and lots of people relying on appropriate information in order to eventually get paid when things go big, right? Now, ultimately, that's a very, unloved product, right? It's not, nobody gets excited about it. So how do you turn something so unloved like cap table management and fund administration into an actual product that people love, into a service that people really enjoy. I mean, Noor was actually in the back with us trying to get mic'd up, but eventually she had to leave. And she said that Carta is her favorite fund administrator. So that's straight from the mouths of VCs.
Yeah. I think it's two things. So there's the Peter Thiel product philosophy, which is you got to build a product that's 10x better than what they do today. And so we built something that was 10x better than spreadsheets. So there's like this product functional thing that you have to get right. And it really does have to be 10x better, 10x faster, 10x more reliable, 10x something, whatever 10x means. And then I think great product is a love affair with your customer.
Okay.
And so we just do like little things like you would if you were in love, right? Like when you do something really well in the product, we do fireworks, for the customer, and nobody else cares unless you're a paralegal or an accountant working on, Thursday night at 10 p.m. trying to get something done, and you get it finished, and we make a little, magical sparkle for you. And it's just you don't think about that unless you're in love with your customer. And we do those little things. And I think the great product, founders, managers, leaders in the world are in love with their customers. And you see it with the Steve Jobs, who really iconically created this idea of a product-led company, and the Elon Musks and all the great product-focused founders. And I think you see it when companies, when the founders lose their love or fall out of love with their customers, right? And they become products that sort of decay, and you just don't like them anymore, right? They don't, and then some other product founder comes in and creates a product that's so much better that you fall in love with again. And even last night I was at an event, and I'm still in love with my customers, which is why I still do what I do. And I was talking to we have 2,000 employees, we have 40,000 customers, and I ran into a customer, and they said, Henry, I had this problem. I was like logging in, something didn't work, and I said, give me your here's my phone number. Text me so I have your text number. Let me go figure it out tonight, and I'll text you back and see what happened, right? And that's like, you have to be in your love with your customer to have that obsession with detail.
I mean, I do like that point that, like you said, in order for your clients and your customers to love your product, you kind of have to love your clients first, right? So what is the process by which you were able to actually create an experience that they did love? Is it just user testing after user testing? Did you just throw it out? I mean, I think the adage for a lot of founders is ship it before it's, perfect to get the feedback. What was your story?
Yeah, so the reason why founders don't ship product early enough is because they're worried the customer will get mad at them, and nobody wants unhappy people around them. And what you really want actually is angry customers. Like, that's a good thing because it means they care about what you do. The worst thing is customers that are indifferent, like, it doesn't really matter. What you want is, here, I promised I would do something for you. I didn't, and you're furious. And that's a good thing because then they'll tell you why you're furious, and then you'll fix it for them. And if you fix it well, they'll love you. And then you'll mess up again, and they'll be furious. But then you'll fix it again, and they'll love you. And it's again, great love. All great love is domestic hardship, like volatile relation. Everybody knows when you fall in love, it's very volatile, right? And great romance is volatile. It's not healthy. But that's what you want, is this abusive relationship with your customer where they're angry at you when you fail them, and they love you when you serve them.
Okay, I need to caveat it by saying that you are providing software. Now, if Thomas's customers are furious at him, I think lives were on the line, right? So,
I was wondering when they put the two of us on stage together, I was wondering what actually is the link between listening to you talk about your customers. Now I know what it is, because it's exactly the same experience. I mean, people are incredibly passionate, not surprisingly, about cars. I'm interested to hear the passion about your product, but for cars, it's very commonplace. People are passionate, and our customers are very passionate. And that brings, indeed, that kind of total overwhelming praise, but it brings as well very harsh reaction when you disappoint, when there's a pain point for them, something they disagree with. And that is indeed when the response, even of a CEO answering to an email, being there and admitting, okay, that went wrong, we'll fix it. or even just to disagree and explain why you did it this or that way. That's indeed when you actually gain that long-term trust and relation, and that is so important. It makes probably the base for future business.
Very nice. Very nice. And I do want to just touch upon because eventually you need to create something that's beautiful. You need to create something that's trusted. You need to create something that your community appreciates and really wants to show off. Almost a trophy. Come on, cars are kind of like trophies for some. But how do you balance this design process of putting something that is a gorgeous asset out there that people will love and treasure, but still making sure that it's functional and safe and that people trust that process?
That's the main difference between free art, being an artist, and being a designer.
You're a CEO. You've got to, thread that line.
Yeah, but okay, for everybody, I started as a designer, so I know very well the business of making that perfect compromise between the function and the beauty. And really, being a designer is so much fun knowing, okay, these are the boundaries, and how do I push them, but at the same time as well create something that makes the best out of this. Actually, as a free artist, you're almost lost because there are no boundaries. That drives so many of them into craziness. So the good thing about being a designer, there is this framework, and it is not necessarily a contradiction. For us, it's much more important to pick the technologies and the functions and actually make them a theme, make them what you actually communicate with your design, and don't fight it, but actually use them as a vehicle to give your design meaning.
I really like the fact that you just said that you can make something exceptional within the boundaries of framework. That really, resonates with me as a regulator. So thank you for that. Just going to stay with you for this final question, and I'm going to jump back to you, Henry. Let's pull it back, like not just the cars, Polestar. It's an experience. You have a full user experience from start to finish. It's a brand, and that's more than just an item. What do you expect? What do your clients, or what do you think your clients expect from you in the next few years in terms of this experience and this relationship?
At two levels on what do they expect from the brand Polestar, what do they expect from our products? And one thing is clear, the product promise is clear. We have that idea about accepting that the car has two legs that it stands on. It's this incredible physical experience, the freedom to drive faster than your two legs can move. It's still this archaic emotion, and at the same time being a highly digital product and bringing these things together in a perfect way. As a brand, clearly you buy not just the product, you buy as well the image of a brand and what the brand stands for, and that promise of the values that you represent are important. People have to, they express themselves with this product highly, so they have to identify with the values. And the values, okay, us being a very Scandinavian company, not a big surprise. It's of course on one hand the Scandinavian beauty, and at the other hand being very dedicated to the way to a sustainable future, taking out your personal CO2 burden and reduce it as much as possible towards zero.
Wonderful. Thank you. Henry, final question for you. Will Carta become a lifestyle brand?
I hope so. I think, we've really built a base around supporting venture funds and companies. And now we're really thinking about ourselves as more of a retail customer. And I think, continue to push the envelope of what we can do when we think about like great products. We think about like, what can we do? What could go right whenever we think about a great product? I think a lot of the, when people design products that are lackluster, it's always what could go wrong, right? Like what will I get in trouble for? What will customers not like? What will break something? Versus, hey, what could go really right if we did something different? And things will we may make mistakes, we may upset people, but the upside is so great. Because I think one of the things that defensive products makers do is when they think about what could go wrong, and they don't innovate, right? Nothing gets 10x better if you think about what could go wrong.
It's just incremental.
That's right. It's all incremental, and the great breakthroughs are all what could go right conversations. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Can I have a big round of applause for Henry, for Thomas,